The woman was horrified to discover that she was being dragged toward the cliff edge by the very scarf she was knitting. Yet instead of feeling fear, she grew even more excited and continued knitting while dangling over the edge. She had an unusual obsession, a compulsive need to create on the brink of a precipice. As the knitted scarf piled up at her feet, she gave it a casual kick. That seemingly offhand act triggered a deadly crisis. Unaware that one end of the scarf had slipped over the cliff, she remained absorbed in her work. Soon, gravity took over, and the portion beyond the edge began sliding downward. The woman noticed nothing amiss and only tugged the yarn back habitually. Danger was quietly mounting. The longer the scarf slid down, the stronger the downward pull became. Before long, she lost her footing and fell to the ground, yet she still refused to let go. Instead, she used the momentum of the slipping scarf to accelerate her knitting frenzy. As the scarf left on the cliff edge dwindled, she was suddenly yanked over by the force. Desperately, she dug her feet into the rocky ledge, barely hanging on. But even then, she didn't choose to cut the thread and save herself. Instead, as if possessed, she kept knitting while suspended in midair. Just as she was slowly maneuvering backward, a strong gust swept in, causing the scarf to flutter violently. To make matters worse, the yarn on the ground had completely run out. Once again, the scarf dragged her toward the abyss, but she couldn't bear to sever her painstaking creation. Pushed to the brink, a strand of her bangs fell before her eyes. Incredibly, she began frantically weaving her own hair into the scarf as if it were yarn. But this was only a drop in the bucket. Soon her hair was entirely used up. Her fate was now inextricably tied to the scarf, pulling her toward the edge of death. At the critical moment, she spotted a pair of scissors not far away. Struggling with all her might, she crawled toward them, nearly within reach, when suddenly, her knitting needle snapped. In an instant, she was dragged down the cliff. During the fall, she managed to bite through her hair and narrowly escape. One might have thought she would come to her senses, but just days later, she found an even higher cliff. Once again, she picked up her knitting needles, though this time, she might not be as lucky as before.